now because I'm about to tell you the truth. And F you if you can't handle the truth.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Unwoke Thoughts. Big show this morning, big show today. And if you ask me, hey, you come out here every morning and you say big show every time, why do you say that? Because it is a big show every time, okay? I believe it is a big show. The news is big every single time, but especially today, guys, especially a big show today. Lots of stuff going on. What we're talking about primarily today, or the headline, I guess, after staying in the shadows for most of Trump's brutal campaign, you guys have seen it over the past couple years. Pretty brutal. But after staying in the shadows, not really making many public appearances, Melania Trump is expected to make an appearance at an upcoming event very soon. So stay tuned to find out the details of that. Elon Musk, all of our favorite billionaire, makes a massive donation to a certain political candidate. And I bet those of you watching can't guess who it is. But if you have a good idea, go ahead and throw it in the chat. I bet you can't guess, but I'll let you have a shot. Throw it in the chat. Sleepy Joe campaigns in Michigan and calls out an imaginary congresswoman. And I have an idea of who he was actually referring to. But then, as the saying goes, you never know when it's Joe. I just made that up just now. What do you guys think about that? Was that pretty good? You never know when it's Joe. Donors to the largest pro-Biden super PAC freeze an enormous amount of money and say they will only donate their stacks of cash under one condition. One condition. So we're going to find out what that condition is. We have a possible leaked graph. It's big news, guys. Possible leaked graph of the 2024 election if Biden were to actually be the Democrat nominee. So leaked graph after the election in November when we find out the results, or maybe in real time. We got a leaked graph. And if you say, well, that's impossible. The election hasn't even happened yet. Well, just wait until you see the graph, okay? Calm down. A major social media company just announced they will be lifting the ban on Donald Trump's accounts. But I personally think that we should never forget that they did this in the first place. This is one thing that we should never forgive and forget. That's my personal opinion. Mike Lee announces a plan to force the passage of the SAVE Act. Good news. We're going to talk about this. After it failed in the Senate last week. You guys remember the SAVE Act? The bill that would ensure only citizens vote in our elections? Well, Democrats are against it for some reason. And I can't quite put my finger on why. Can you guys help me out? Why are they so against it? It's kind of weird. And lastly, last one we're going to look at. AT&T announces massive data breach affecting over 100 million customers, exposing text messages and pictures sent in text messages. Now, when I said that last part, some of you got more nervous than others. And you know who you are. But ladies and gentlemen, if you could please, before we get in the show, hit that like button. I'd really appreciate it. It really helps me out a lot. But first of all, ladies and gentlemen, the big one, Melania Trump making an appearance very soon at the Republican convention, the RNC in Milwaukee. This is reported on by the Daily Mail. It's a Saturday. It's early. My coffee's weak for some reason. It tastes like water. What's going on here? But let's get into it. Melania primed to make a Republican convention appearance alongside Trump in Milwaukee after staying away from the campaign trail for months. So this is good news, guys. Be interesting to see our first lady out and about. Melania is preparing to make a major appearance on the campaign trail alongside husband Donald Trump after months of staying away from presidential race. I don't blame her for staying away. It's been pretty brutal. It's been a bloodbath. Donald Trump, he has come out victorious for the most part. And when I say for the most part, at least until it goes through appeal. E. Jean Carroll got a little bit of a chunk of him. Letitia James got a little bit of a chunk of him. But, pending appeal. We'll see what happens in appeal. The former First Lady will attend the Republican National Convention in Milwaukee next week. So that's very soon, guys. But it does remain unclear if she will address the crowd. So she will be in attendance. Will she address the crowd? We don't know. She did speak to delegates at the 2016 and 2020 conventions, but this election year, she has stayed in the shadows while her husband runs for a second term. So she's not taking the Jill Biden approach, which is refreshing because Donald Trump is her man. She lets him, handle his own ish, if you know what I mean. That's how it should be. But Joe Biden, other way around. He's losing his faculties. So Jill Biden has to step up and handle his ish, if you know what I mean. On other family, Trump family members will be in appearance next week. Don Jr. is expecting to speak on Wednesday night. Eric Trump is expected to attend as his wife, Laura, works for the party. Ivanka Trump will be there on Thursday when Donald Trump formally accepts the presidential nomination. But she will be there in a personal capacity and will not speak to the delegates. There's Melania Trump right there, looking beautiful as always. It is unclear if Barron Trump will attend or speak. That would be kind of weird if he spoke. Melania is known to be protective of her son. I don't blame her. Politics is a dirty business, especially when it comes to Trump. He brings out all of the evil attacks. Like every single dirty deep state trick, Donald Trump draws them all out. And he takes all of those slings and arrows. If you have been watching him for the past couple years, it's crazy. How does he do it? If he wasn't a billionaire, there's no way. He'd be down. It would be over. But Barron attended his first political rally last week. You guys all saw that when he stood up and got a standing ovation. Earlier this summer, Barron Trump declined Florida's offer to be a delegate to the Republican National Convention. And then it kind of goes on to talk about Barron for a little while, but it says, meanwhile, Melania Trump has appeared publicly with her husband for campaign events just 3 times, his campaign kickoff in November of 2022, at their Mar-a-Lago home in March when she accompanied her husband to vote in the Florida presidential primary, and in April when she appeared at his side at a high-dollar fundraiser in Palm Beach. In March, as she walked into the polling place, Melania was asked if she would join the former president on the campaign trail. Her response, and I absolutely love it, her response is, stay tuned. Stay tuned. So Melania Trump, she's a woman of mystery. She's not all out in everybody's face like Jill Biden is. She is a classy woman, standing by her husband's side, but not getting in his way, which is how it should be, right? Don't get in his way. And I don't think Jill Biden really gets in Joe Biden's way. I think it just has to be that way, okay? Because Joe Biden can't, handle himself. But the other big thing that happened recently, guys, this is big news. Our favorite billionaire, Elon Musk, donates to a group working to elect Trump. This is per Bloomberg, so this is a real article. This is not fake news, as far as I know. But let's take a look at this and see what else is happening here. Billionaire Elon Musk, who has been ramping up criticism of U.S. President Joe Biden, has donated to a political group working to elect rival presidential candidate Donald Trump. The report did not indicate how much Musk donated, but said that it was a sizable amount giving to a group called America PAC. So these donors, they can't give directly to a campaign unless they only want to give, what is it, $2,800, I think is like the cap. It's something like that. It's somewhere in that range. So instead of giving directly to a campaign, they can give to a PAC, and they can give much more. So considering all of the slings and arrows Musk has also taken over the past few years, which is odd. I mean, they're coming from the left, which is odd because the left is all about EVs and EV mandates, and Musk is the biggest creator of EVs in the entire world probably. And he gets attacked by the left. It shows you what hypocrites the left are. But he's had enough of it, and he's arguably done more to combat the left than just about any person on the planet by buying Twitter, which is really changed a lot of things. It was amazing. And now he's doubling down on this efforts to combat the left by donating to Donald Trump, to his campaign. He's had enough of this. And I'm here for it. I love it. I love seeing billionaires doing the right thing. And Musk, as quirky as he is, he's doing the right thing here. It's fantastic. Bloomberg reported that the PAC, a group that can receive unlimited contributions for political activity, is next required to disclose its list of donors on July the 15th. So what is today? Today is the 13th. So 2 more days. So on Monday, we should be able to know how much he gave to the Trump campaign, because they had to disclose the donations. In March, Trump, a former U.S. president who is expected to be formally nominated next week as the Republican Party's candidate, met with Musk and other wealthy donors. Some people are saying maybe this is not true, because I remember seeing this. Musk met with Trump, and they asked Musk if he was giving money to Trump or if he was endorsing Trump, and he said, no. But it looks to have changed, possibly. Guess we'll find out for sure on Monday. But this is what he said back then. He said, just to be super clear, I'm not donating money to either candidate for U.S. president. He didn't say he was never donating money, though, so keep that in mind. In May, he also denied media reports that there had been talks over a potential advisory role for him in any Trump presidency. Musk, the world's richest person who runs electric car maker Tesla, rocket maker SpaceX, and social media company X, and other companies did not respond to Reuters' request for comments. But Biden's campaign spokesperson, James Singer, said that Musk knows Trump is a sucker who will sell America out, cutting his taxes while raising taxes on the middle class by $2,500. So the Biden campaign, obviously not too happy about this one, but what can they expect? They try to force these EV mandates on all of these people, yet at the same time, they pretend like Elon Musk just doesn't exist at all, which is hilarious because he is the biggest maker of EVs in the entire world. It blows my mind. But just because they don't like his politics, he has a way of looking at the world that they don't agree with, or he's not as corrupt as they are. If Elon Musk got corrupt, they would push him up. They would build him up overnight. All he needs to do is take a couple deals from the left, some of these institutions. they would build them up overnight. That's how it goes. More big news, guys. This is crazy. Big news. Joe Biden. He calls out member of Congress Debbie Haley. Weird. And the reason why that's weird is because there is, in fact, no member named that. There's no member of Congress named Debbie Haley, but who I believe he was referring to was Michigan Representative Debbie Dingell. I think that's who he's referring to. But like I said, you never know with Joe, but listen.
I got your back as well. Members of Congress, Debbie Haley, and by the way, I want you to know that I've spent a lot of time with Debbie. She's helped me like a lot.
So, yeah, that's pretty cool. So, I mean, kind of par for the course for Joe Biden. He's in Michigan right now, begging for money, doing fundraisers, doing rallies, and calling out invisible congresswomen. What did he do that one time? He called on a congresswoman who was already dead. You guys remember that? And when Karine Jean-Pierre was asked why he did that, she goes, well, the congresswoman was just on the top of his mind. So very interesting. But there are some pretty wild things happening with the Biden administration lately. This was a huge blow to Joe Biden. Massive. This is huge, guys. Like, this indicates that there are rocky waters ahead for Joe Biden. Does that even make sense? Rocky waters? A rocky road. Rocky road. There's a rocky road ahead for the Biden administration. Let's just put it that way. This was just reported yesterday, and it's pretty wild. Major Democrat donors to the largest pro-Biden super PAC have frozen $90 million in pledged donations. This is coming from the New York Times. Until there's a qualifier here. It's not frozen indefinitely, but they want Joe Biden to step down, and they're not going to unfreeze his money, apparently, until he does. Listen.
Breaking this hour, New York Times reporting donors have told the largest pro-Biden super PAC that roughly $90 million in pledges are now frozen if Biden remains at the top of the ticket. But this may only be the beginning. Reports claim a coordinated Democratic rebellion is set to unfold during a brutal 48-hour stretch for Biden. An 18th Democrat lawmaker just called for Biden's exit 90 minutes ago. Now we're learning that President Biden privately met with White House Minority Leader Jeffries after his solo press conference last night, where he made several embarrassing mistakes on the world stage. Hello, everyone.
So I guess that press conference that he did at the NATO summit didn't really work out too well for him. He honestly, other than what he said about, Donald Trump being VP, when he mixed Kamala Harris and Trump up. Other than that, he really didn't do too bad. I mean, he did better than I thought personally, but that just so happened to be a really bad mix-up. Not because it was just so bad. I mean, you can mix up someone's name, right? Well, I think there are two things that made that flub just worse than just about anything he could have done. Number one, he didn't go back and correct it. He just said it. He said Vice President Trump, and he never corrected it. So that made it worse. But number two, it's such a memeable, clippable moment. It's one of those things, even though it's not like a huge deal, mixing up someone's name. I've done it. You've done it. We've all done it. It's just one of those things that's just easy to make fun of. He mixes up his running mate with his political opponent. That's just like classic memeable material. So it spread like wildfire. I even made like a thumbnail of it with Kamala Harris as Donald Trump. It was like a mashup of their face because it was just funny. I mean, I didn't make that myself. I found it on Twitter, but I used it in my thumbnail. So whoever made that meme or whoever made that picture of Kamala Harris as Trump, kudos to you. That was hilarious. So these pro-Biden super PACs or these Biden donors not having it. They're like, listen, we want Biden out and we're going to hold our mountains of cash until he is. But let's kind of get into this a little bit more and see if we can figure out more about what's happening here. So donors to this is the actual article, the New York Times. This is where it came from. The donors are said to withhold roughly $90 million. The decision to withhold such enormous sums of money is one of the most concrete examples of the fallout from President Biden's poor debate performance at the end of June. Some major Democrat donors have told the largest pro-Biden super PAC, Future Forward, so that's a super PAC right there, that pledges worth roughly $90 million are now on hold if President Biden remains atop the ticket, according to two people who have been briefed on the conversations. The frozen contributions include multiple eight-figure commitments, according to the two people who spoke on the condition of anonymity, given the sensitivity of the situation. The decision to withhold such enormous sums of money is one of the most concrete examples of the fallout from the debate. Future Forward declined to comment. One donor to the group described being approached multiple times by Future Forward since the debate for a contribution. Hey, can we have money? Hey, can you have money? Can you imagine like being a politician going up to people? Hey, can we have money? Hey, do you mind giving us $100,000, please? Please. Weird. Especially after that debate. Could you imagine just the guts, the pair that you would have to have after Joe Biden just destroys the debate? I mean, he just falls apart on the stage, and then you go to a billionaire or some donor and ask for money. Oh man, you just have to have just some gall. You don't even let it like settle down for a little bit, wait a couple of weeks. No, right after the debate, just, hey, what's up? How's it? Hey, buddy, how's it going? Good friend. Haven't seen you in a while. How about we take you out to dinner really quick? Get them nice and liquored up and ask them for money. But this individual said that they're holding off. Holding off is a good way to put it. The two people briefed on the frozen pledges declined to say which individual donors were pulling back promised checks, which were estimated to total around or above 90 mil. A milli, if you will. $90 million. It was not clear how much of the pledged money was earmarked for Future Forward Super PAC versus its nonprofit arm, which has also been running advertising in key battleground states. A separate person close to the group said the Super PAC had been shying away from making major strategic decisions until it gets more clarity on who will be atop the ticket. But wait, I thought Biden has proclaimed many, many times that he is going to be on the ticket. And just after this article, I'll play you just recently in Michigan, where he is right now, or was yesterday at least, where he says very loudly that he is running in 2024, which is weird because I did not know that that Joe Biden could run. So maybe he should start saying that he is shuffling in 2024, make it a little bit more believable. Okay? Maybe he should say that. But an aide to one major Future Forward donor, the billionaire Reid Hoffman. So Reid Hoffman, I don't know if you guys remember this, but this is the guy who made it possible for E. Jean Carroll to go after Donald Trump. He gave $200,000 to E. Jean Carroll's legal team to pay for her lawyers to go after Donald Trump. So that's who that is, believe it or not. But he has given $7 million to the Super PAC and said that donors were making a mistake in withholding money. So he's, I guess, riding with Biden. He's all aboard the Biden train. A funding freeze is a problematic strategy at this point in the election cycle. If donors are committed to making a statement by withholding capital from Future Forward or the Biden campaign, she said, then they should make larger donations to progressive nonprofit groups that are agnostic about who is at top of the ticket. These people they're addicted to money, guys. It's like these people run on money. They inject it into their veins. Sad. It's sad how much money affects our elections. It's wild. It's how it is, I guess, though. The cash freeze come as some advertisers around Mr. Biden are discussing how to persuade the president to exit the race. And his campaign has begun to test Vice President Kamala Harris in head-to-head surveys of voters against former President Donald J. Trump. I meant to talk about this yesterday, but I completely skipped over the segment on accident. But yes, quietly behind the scenes, the Biden administration is still testing Kamala Harris's viability, doing polling and, collecting data, just trying to figure out how exactly unlikable Kamala Harris is. Probably doing polling on her cackle. See exactly how annoying it is, how grating on people's ears Kamala Harris's cackle is. But I apologize. I shouldn't say that because that's sexist. My bad. In a news conference on Thursday evening, Mr. Biden dug in. He said, I believe I'm the best qualified to govern, and I think I'm the best qualified to win. Well, if he's the best qualified to win, that's fantastic news. I hope what he's saying is the truth, because that bodes well for Donald Trump. If he is the best qualified to win, ugh. But Future Forward was anointed by Mr. Biden's campaign as its leading super PAC in the early stages of the 2024 race. And then the rest of it kind of just goes into kind of the history of this super PAC and all that good stuff. But Joe Biden not slowing down on the claims that he is running, ladies and gentlemen. This is in Michigan at a rally. Biden proclaims that he is running in 2024 as the crowd chants, lock him up, referring to Trump, I'm assuming. Let me unmute this first. That'd probably be nice. There we go.
A lot of speculation lately. What's Joe Biden going to do? Is he going to stay in the race? Is he going to drop out? Here's my answer. I am running, and we're going to win.
Lock him up.
Folks.
So they're really trying to, I guess, copy the 2016 campaign of Donald Trump. They're trying to, try to garner the same attention. It just doesn't work. I just don't think it works very well. Big news, guys. Okay, hold on. I got some stuff mixed up here. There we go. All right, big news, guys. There is a leaked graph of what 2024, the vote number, the vote count, might look like in November. Leaked graph, guys. This is big news. You're first seeing it here. It's pretty wild. Check it out. So remember in 2020, this right here. Hold on a second. No, I'll keep the bottom part hidden right now. Build anticipation. But in 2020, you guys remember this graph where we had that injection of votes and it just shot up there, just barely perfectly above Donald Trump's numbers. Remember that? Well, considering how bad Joe Biden is polling and considering how old he is, senile he is, they're going to have to do a lot better than this. So this is what it's going to look like in November if he would have to win. So that's big news. Let me put the full graph up there. So that's breaking news right there, guys. We got a leaked graph, potential graph of Joe Biden and Trump. Of course, Trump is the red, Biden is the blue. Notice the step up there. The injection is going to have to be a lot larger. So that's very, very interesting. The White House, at its official transcript, when Biden mixed up Trump and Kamala Harris during the NATO summit press conference. This is the edited version. They have it right here. It says the president, and this is a quote, "Look, I wouldn't have picked Vice President Trump," and they crossed it out, "Harris to be vice president. Did I think she was not qualified to be president?" So let's start there, number one. So very cogent statement by Joe Biden. Incredible. South Carolina Representative Jim Clyburn, this is the same guy we talked about just the other day, who said, I think it was just this week, I believe, a few days ago, he said multiple times that he is riding with Biden, admits on an interview that Joe Biden is not the same Joe Biden from 2 years ago. Listen.
This the same Joe Biden that we saw 2 years ago.
Well, look, I grew up.
Is it the same Joe Biden?
No.
Is this the same?
So we all know it's not the same Joe Biden. We all know that. Every once in a while, they let it slip, their true feelings. You know, they get pressured by a reporter, a journalist, to let it slip what they actually think. The other day, when he was asked about Joe Biden, about his thoughts on what was going on, is Joe Biden running? What do you think about Joe Biden? Do you think Joe Biden should win? His only response was, I am riding with Biden. I am riding with Biden. But in this interview, pressured a little bit more, he is forced to reveal the truth. Well, at least a part of the truth. Of course, Joe Biden is not who he used to be. Just how bad is it? I think it's pretty obvious. Chris Matthews makes a prediction that Biden may be a little resentful of Obama. And also he makes a surprise prediction here. He's one of the only ones I hear saying this. He says that Biden is going to have a comeback. Yeah, guys, listen to this one.
Good at it. He's been reelected every stand in Delaware with pretty healthy majorities. In life, he lost his wife and he lost his daughter, and he found Jill. Now, who's he going to listen to, Jill or George Clooney? I'm telling you, it's personal. He's had the elite, and it's so true about the elite. He is absolutely right about the elite. Look at President Obama. He served for 8 years loyally, and yet Obama backed Hillary Clinton for president and didn't back him. But I hear he never even invited him upstairs. He had a good reason to be resentful, but he isn't. He puts up with it with the elite. But right now, he's got the poor people. He's got minorities. He's got Hispanics. He's going to put out the labor. He's going to hold that base of the Democratic Party, which he will need in November. And I'm telling you, people are going to end up rooting for him in October because he will have a comeback. And in this elite-fashioned attack on him, they're going to pay for it. But in the end, they're going to end up voting for him. So I think Biden will be the little guy. He'll be the Democrat in this race, the true Democrat. And he's going to get people to turn for him in October. It's going to be stunning. He is not quitting. He is not built to quit. That's what I think. And I think it's the most important thing we're going to resolve here.
So he is not quitting. He is not built to quit. That's what Chris Matthews has to say. So Chris Matthews, obviously, he's on the Biden train. Very interesting. It's kind of interesting what he says about Obama and Joe Biden. And I honestly, I'm not going to lie to you. I didn't know about this. I didn't know Biden and Obama had beef. I really didn't. I knew Obama didn't respect Biden. I kind of knew that. That's kind of obvious. But I didn't know they had beef. But Chris Matthews says it. And just the other day, who was it? Who else was it that said that they had beef? I forgot. I talked about it just the other day. I believe it was someone on CNN. Jake Tapper, perhaps. I think it was no, it was not Jake. I think it was Morning Joe. Yeah, he said something about Obama and Biden having beef. And now, believe it or not, guys, Donald Trump is concurring with this. He posted on True Social about this beef that Obama and Biden have. He says, Obama and Biden hate each other. Obama never respected Biden, thought he was dumb and a total lightweight. Will be an interesting couple of weeks. Obama wants him out, wants VP Harris in. So, very interesting. I guess Obama is vying for VP Harris to go in as the nominee. I guess he gets along better with Vice President Harris. I can't imagine how. But, I mean, with those two, you just never know. But we have big news, guys. This just happened just the other day. Facebook, Meta, announces that it will be lifting restrictions on Donald Trump's Facebook and Instagram accounts. Yes! We should all just forget that they did this in the first place. We should all just forget that this is pretty much a communist censorship attack on the right wing, suppressing political opinions, literally suppressing a political candidate that we all overwhelmingly supported. They just took him out of Facebook, took him off of Instagram, banned him from Twitter. I don't think we should ever forget this. I think Facebook should be punished. Never forget what Facebook did. But this is the official post by Facebook. We will be ending the suspension of Mr. Trump's Facebook and Instagram accounts in the coming weeks. We've put new guardrails in place to deter repeat offenses. The public, this is a funny, interesting thing. The public should be able to hear what politicians are saying so they can make informed choices. Oh, wow. Okay. Okay, Facebook. Wow, look at you, Facebook. Really, what a right-wing nut job Facebook has become, right? Those extreme ideas that we've had for, many years now, Facebook is like, you know what? Not really a bad idea. Maybe the public just so happens should have, access to the politicians that they want to vote for so they can make an informed choice. So that's nice. Facebook doing a 180. I guess that's good. But I don't think we should forgive and forget what happened with that. Donald Trump says that Joe Biden should take a cognitive test and that he will tag along and take one as well. Yes, guys, Donald Trump putting his money where his mouth is. A lot of people, when Trump talks about Joe Biden taking a cognitive test, you see these liberals on Twitter saying, Donald Trump should take one too. Well, he just quieted them all down with this one truth. He said, Joe should immediately take a cognitive test, and I will go with him and take one also. For the first time, we'll be a team and do it for the good of the country. And from now on, all presidential candidates should be mandated to take a cognitive test and aptitude test, regardless of their age. So, I love it, guys. I absolutely love it. Donald Trump. Hey, Joe, pal, you and I can just skip down the road together and go take a cognitive test. You can do yours and I could do mine. Then we can have ice cream after. And maybe get a spray tan. So we'll see what happens with that. We'll see if Joe Biden takes him up on it. I'm going to guess probably not. Joe Biden, even when he challenges Donald Trump to something, when Trump accepts, he backs out, just like that golf match. Remember during the debate? Joe Biden claimed that he had some insane handicap, a 6 handicap or something like that. And Donald Trump was like, yeah, right. He claimed that he could out-stamina Trump on the golf course. And Donald Trump said, yeah, right. And then during his rally, he said, well, how about we just find out? How about instead of dealing in the realm of hypothetical, how about we just find out, Mr. Biden, Mr. President, who likes to talk big? And, of course, the campaign came out very quickly and declined and tried to punch back, saying that, hey, how about you try to stop breaking the law and stuff like this. So it was very interesting. But big news. Yesterday, we talked about the SAVE Act and how it was killed in the Senate. This is an act or a bill that would have made it illegal. Well, it made it mandatory to prove citizenship, to have some sort of identification if you were to go and vote in our presidential election, national election, federal elections. Sounds pretty logical. Sounds like something that we should have. The Democrats argue, hey, it's already illegal to vote in a federal election if you are not a citizen. So you got to ask, why are they opposed to this bill? Well, they claim that the right is being xenophobic, racist. They are trying to suppress the vote, which is not the real reason why. They know that they can use these millions of illegal immigrants as ways to, let's just say, how can I say this in a safe way? Because, you know, YouTube really doesn't like talking about this. They can use those names in a way and for a nefarious purpose. Let's just put it that way. They can use those people as a way to get what they want. I'm just going to put it that way. I'm going to keep it very vague. And having this bill, passing this bill, should be important because of the fact that we've had such an influx of illegal immigrants into the country over the past 3 years, ever since Joe Biden came in office. So it's feasible to think, hey, we probably should have some safeguards in place because there are tens of millions of illegals in the country. So maybe we should make sure that these illegals aren't trying to overwhelm the system or trying to vote because they're not a part of the country technically. They just walked over the border. That doesn't mean you're a part of the country. That does not mean you're a citizen. But Mike Lee is doing some good stuff here. I mean, Senator Mike Lee, he floated an idea on X. He put it in an X poll. This is a poll that people can vote on. But it's a plan that would force the passage of the SAVE Act. And this is what he had to say. Wait, I think it's this one. Oh, okay. I got my links mixed up again. But he did a poll. I had the link here. I must have replaced it with something else. But he did a poll asking if he should force this passage of the SAVE Act by attaching it to a financial thing with the Democrats. So the Democrats would have to vote on it and vote it through. And Donald Trump supported this plan of the SAVE Act. This is what he said. Republicans in Congress should attach the very important SAVE Act to the next continuing resolution. So basically threaten to defund the government if they don't pass the SAVE Act, which they absolutely should do. He says, stop the steal, guard the vote. Let the Democrats try to explain why they are against this. Not doable. Donald J. Trump. So, Senator Mike Lee doing great things over there. Let's hope he's able to get that pushed through because that's very important. We want to make sure our elections are safe and secure. We have a new one here. Springfield, Ohio. The mayor, with a population of only around 58,000 people, announces that his city has been flooded with over 20,000 Haitian illegals that the Biden campaign sent over. Listen to this.
Of Springfield, Ohio, and Brian Heck is the city manager, and they both join me now. Good morning to you both. Mayor Rue, tell us what's going on in Springfield.
Well, what we've seen is just such a quick increase of our population over the last 5 years. You know, like you said, up to 15 to 20,000 immigrants have come across and into our community. This has overwhelmed our safety services and caused great concern for our community.
Brian, you're the city manager. Tell us more and how this influx is impacting the city.
Yeah, certainly. Thank you for having us on this morning. You know, when we see a 25% increase over a 3-year period, we're a community, we do not have the capacity to sustain that. And it's taxing our infrastructure. It's taxing public safety. It's taxing our schools. It's taxing healthcare. And as J.D. Vance spoke on, it's taxing our housing. We had a housing shortage well before this immigration crisis that's impacted our community, and this has just made it 100 times worse. And so it's setting communities like Springfield up to fail, and we do not have the capacity to sustain it. And without additional federal assistance or support, again, communities like Springfield will fail.
So a small Ohio town being overwhelmed with illegal immigrants. Absolutely incredible. This is normal, guys. You know, it's just another reason why we need to make sure these people aren't voting. You know, 20,000 people go into this town. How are you supposed to sustain that? You know? And it's like these people are coming from a different country, a culture that you know nothing about unless you've been to Haiti or whatever, maybe. But that's probably unlikely in this town. So you got 20,000 people who come here from a different culture, have no idea what American culture is other than maybe what they have seen, maybe on TV. I don't know what they have in Haiti. So they come over here with expectations that are usually pretty off. I always say these illegal immigrants that come here, they have these high expectations for America, and it's just not what they thought. It's not what they expected. It's like, I mean, maybe a little bit because they get government funding and stuff like that, but at the end of the day, America's just a place too. So it's not like all your problems go away. But a small town dealing with 20,000 Haitian immigrants, how are you supposed to deal with that? You got language barriers to worry about. What's the crime situation? How are you supposed to really maintain 20,000 people who come from a different country, no idea of your culture, no idea how to act, and the Biden regime just drops them in your town. Hey, here you go. Here's 20,000 people. Figure it out. So that's pretty incredible. Last one, guys. AT&T. I know some of you are really worried about this one. Why you shouldn't send pictures on text messages. But AT&T announces massive data breach affecting over 100 million customers. Virtually all of their customers, this is almost all their customers, 100 million people, and exposes their text messages and pictures. Listen to this.
AT&T customer, you got to listen to this. The company just revealed that nearly all of its customers, more than 100 million people, have been hit by hackers in a massive data breach, exposing their text messages and their phone logs. Joining us now, NBC News business and data correspondent Brian Chug. This is awful.
Yeah, it's a big deal. And basically what AT&T disclosed this morning is that during a period between May and roughly the end of October in 2022, basically all phone calls and text messages were accessed accessed illegally by some bad actor. Now, for what it's worth, AT&T says that the contents of phone calls and text messages were not included in the breach, but merely the text numbers that you reached out to, or basically whoever you were calling or texting, those numbers were identifiable. And even though there's no personal...
Why are they confident of that?
Well, that's what they say. Again, we're looking into this, and law enforcement officials are working with AT&T to try to figure out the nature of exactly what happened here. They do say that one person was apprehended, at least one person was apprehended, but law enforcement officials are continuing to work with not just AT&T, but the FCC, the Federal Communications Commission, in investigating exactly what happened.
So what are they telling customers about what to do in the face of this?
Well, they're telling customers to just be aware of any sort of unusual activity. If you get any sort of spam or phishing messages by email, it could be linked to this information that was illegally accessed. But they also say that they're working quickly to try to resolve the vulnerability that was related in this instance, and then also advising customers that they'll provide any updates.
So they got text message, phone logs, any indication that...
So, yeah, you guys get the idea. So be careful what you send out there on text messages, guys. I don't care what the company is. I don't care what it... Nothing is 100% secure, okay? Nothing. I don't care what it is. And that's why you should buy NordVPN. I'm just kidding. No. Hey, NordVPN, if you want to sponsor me, reach out. That would have been a perfect segue. But ladies and gentlemen, that is the show. How's it going, guys? Let's get to the chat. Got a lot of people hanging out. Fantastic. How are you guys doing today? You guys doing good? You guys doing all right? It's good to see you. You guys having a great Saturday morning? Man, I started really early. I started at 8 o'clock. Usually I don't start so early. But what are we up to? What are we up to today? We've got Michelle C in the chat. The mod, thank you for helping out. Thank you for modding, Michelle. Always doing a fantastic job, Michelle C. She says, another class action lawsuit coming. Yep. Most likely. We have Rebecca. Rebecca's in the chat. She says, going to be so hot here until Wednesday. Hold on. Okay. It's going to be hot here too. We have Anthony who is in the chat. Wisconsin here again. Logging day is here today. Oh, sounds fun. Thanks, Anthony. Thorny Nose says, Unwoke Thoughts is the greatest live feed ever. Okay. Wait a second. Listen, you don't have to butter me up. I know that's not true. Just, you don't have to do that. It's okay. Flattery will get you everywhere. Michelle asks, hey, Andrew, are you doing the stream? Are you going to stream the Trump rally today? I am not sure if I'm going to be able to make it today with the Trump rally. I would like to. I'm not sure I'm going to be home. Maybe. There's a possibility. We'll find out. Everyone's asking that. Maybe not. I'm not really sure yet. P11B30 says, be a shame if those pictures of my ex-wife leaked. Yeah, that would be a shame, right? Please, no. We don't want to see that. P11. We don't want to see that, okay? Brenda says, Biden will only get worse. Just watch how he'll offend everyone. He'll embarrass himself so nobody will vote for him. Trump will win. Yeah, that was the whole point of showing that graph. You know, if he actually runs and they do the same thing. I'm trying to choose my words carefully. They do the same thing that they did in 2020 and 2024. Well, that graph would be a lot more obvious. Let's just put it that way. And it was obvious before, but USA Ever says, where is the Trump rally today? That's actually a good point. I'm not entirely sure. Let's look. I know RSBN is probably covering it, so they'll probably have something on it. No, that's... They haven't even started their live yet. Michelle will know. Oh, here we go. It's in Butler, Pennsylvania. Thorny says Elon is an agent of chaos. Maybe. James is in the chat. Thanks, James. Thanks for watching. He says the radical left is trying to bring down our... And then he stops. What's the rest of your sentence, James? We're all waiting for it. We're holding our breath. We're waiting for the rest of your sentence. Don't know what it was. Russ E. Bottom says, I have to spend the day with a blue-haired tackle box and a man bun guy. Out of state fam here for the week. Tons of fun. Hope they have thick skin. It could get interesting. Well, sounds like a blast. Enjoy the blue-haired person. They're not always bad. Remember, they're humans just like you. Shayla says, those are some slick slide-in transition, and your streaming layout is 100. Hey, thank you. I appreciate it. I work hard on this stream, okay? Try to keep things nice. Don't want my stream to look like everybody else's, right? That'd just be boring. George says, what if Elon is really Satan? Oh, that's crazy. Jeremy Brummer says, RSBN, another one of my great mods. Thank you, Jeremy. We'll be streaming Trump's rally at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So, yes, if I'm not streaming it, well, I mean, I usually stream I get RSBN stream usually. So if I'm not doing it, I mean, go over to their channel. They have a great channel over there. Windy Girl says, living the dream in East Tennessee, but it's hot. Yeah, it's been kind of hot here. My AC has been running nonstop. Pretty crazy stuff. OG Dog says, actually, first time on live stream here. Hey! Well, it's good to see you, OG. Thanks for watching. Appreciate you. Rebecca says, thank you, Andrew, for all you do. You are awesome. Thank you, Rebecca. No, you are awesome. What are you talking about? You are awesome. But ladies and gentlemen, that is the show. Thank you for watching this morning. I hope you had a fantastic time. I hope you learned something. If you could, please, before we get off the stream, if you could smash that like button or tap it or sniff it like Joe Biden, however you want to do it, just do it. That'd be fantastic. It really helps me out a lot. Share the stream if you feel like it, if you would like to. And if you'd like to support the show, consider becoming a member. Really appreciate that. Ladies and gentlemen, have a fantastic weekend. And we will see you Monday morning on the next one. God bless.